Hi all, workflows allow you to make something happen on a ticket relative to an event and are available in 3 of our time-based apps: Calendar, Deadline, and Due Time. For example, let's say you only want to see tickets on a specific view on the day leading up to an event. Or maybe you and your group want to get an email notification 15 minutes before a deadline hits. Or perhaps you want to boost the priority if the ticket is not solved an hour after an event takes place. All of these workflows and many more are possible. Let's see how this works in the Calendar app first. So all we do is go into the admin settings by clicking on the icon in the main left bar, and then at the top, click on Manage Calendars. Next, go into the Workflows tab. Here, you'll see for the Calendar app there are 2 default locked workflows that take place at the start and the end of the calendar event. To create a new one, click on Add Workflow and give it a name. We'll call this one 15-minute event reminder. Then select when you want it to fire. In the case of Calendar, you can select to make it relative to either the start or end time of the calendar event. You can then define the tag that automatically gets added to the ticket, and if you'd like the assignee to receive a pop-up notification at the same time, you can set what you want it to say here. Now you may be asking, why can I only set a tag to be added at the relative time and not other stuff? The answer is that a tag is actually all you need to hook into the power of the full functionality of Zendesk triggers. As you can see, once a workflow is created, there is a one-time clickable Create Trigger button that will enable you to quickly build a workflow to act on that tag. Now that the trigger has been created, we can tweak it to do or say whatever we want. Let's change the notification so that it tells the group that the event is starting in 15 minutes. And let's set the ticket to an open status to make sure the ticket is moved back onto our radar. Okay, so now that we're happy with what the trigger is doing, we'll save it and pop over to our demo ticket to create a calendar event. We'll set it to take place in 16 minutes so we can see what happens a minute later when the workflow hits. As you can see, we've received the notification at the top right, and the status was also moved to an open status. If we look at the events log of the ticket, we'll see that the 15-minute event reminder tag was added to the ticket here. This is what caused our trigger to fire, which performed the actions and immediately removed the tag as well. Finally, we can see that as part of this update, an email was sent to the group. So, jumping over to our email, we can go into it and see it's telling us about the upcoming event. Okay, so that is how to set up a workflow. Now, so that you're not afraid to use this functionality in other apps, let's have a look how the same stuff works over in the Deadline app. This time we'll be using our tags as a means to build a Zendesk view. As you can see, when I click on the Deadline icon on the left, we're taken straight into the familiar UI of workflows. One difference you'll notice here is that there's only one default locked workflow for when the deadline hits, since unlike the 2 points of interest on the Calendar app, beginning and end of an event, the deadline only has one. Nonetheless, we can add a new workflow in exactly the same way. We just give it a name and decide when, relative to the deadline, we want this to happen. We'll make this one go up 24 hours before. And let's say in this one we don't want to receive a pop-up notification. No worries, we can just leave this bit blank. And finally, click OK. This now gives us the power to see our tickets differently because we can create a Zendesk view to show only tickets that contain deadlines that will hit in the next 24 hours by referencing that tag. Cool. All we do is create a view, give it a name, and place in conditions that look for the existence of that tag on the ticket. Once you're happy with the columns and layout of your view, click Create at the bottom. Finally, back in the app, while for this view to work, we don't actually even need to create a trigger, we do need to make sure the tag is removed at the time that the deadline hits. So what we can do here is to jump into the default trigger that fires at the point the deadline hits. So over in our triggers, we'll find the one called ticket deadline is now. See how it's referencing the tag from the main default workflow? Then, under actions, add the rule to remove the 24-hour tag like this. Cool! Now we have it set up so that the 24-hour tag will be added the day before the deadline hits. We have the view that isolates the tickets containing that tag, and we have a trigger set to remove the tag when the deadline hits. Pew! And voila! Here is our lovely view. So, there's a couple of examples and awesome flows that you can set up using this cool feature that's now available in 3 of our apps. Thanks for watching.